Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Welcome back to MMA Trends, where we bring you the rawest, realest fight news with no fluff, no bias, just straight talk from the world of mixed martial arts. And today's episode is loaded. I'm talking Tom Aspinall throwing in the towel on a Jon Jones fight, Merab's toe looking absolutely wrecked weeks before UFC 316, and some wild insight from legends like Big John and Sean Strickland. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and drop a quick like. It keeps us going and makes sure you don't miss any breaking updates. All right, let's dive into this insanity. Let's kick things off with something weird. Big John McCarthy, the guy who practically helped invent MMA rules, dropped a story that perfectly sums up how unpredictable Jon Jones really is. So here's what he said. Jon apparently insisted on walking into the cage barefoot during one of his early fights, not for some emotional or superstitious reason, but because, in his words, he felt more connected to the earth. That's right. Jon believed fighting barefoot would help him feel grounded and one with the octagon. Look, call it genius, call it eccentric, but it worked. The guy's record speaks for itself. That story just shows you Jon Jones doesn't think like anyone else, for better or worse. All right, let's talk about the tension in the women's flyweight division. Erin Blanchfield recently took a jab at Maycee Barber, implying she's been getting more hype than she deserves. Well, Maycee didn't let that slide. She fired back in a post-fight interview saying, "If she's got a problem with me, then sign the contract. Don't talk, fight." And honestly, I love that energy. The division's heating up, and these two young killers might be on a collision course. They're both hungry. They both want that title shot, and you can bet the UFC is watching closely. Now this one kind of surprised me. Sean Strickland, a guy known for being brutally honest and, let's be real, a little off the wall, just revealed that he's sitting at a net worth of $2.5 million. But here's the kicker. He says he still drives a 1997 Ford, not a Lambo, not a Tesla, a 97 Ford. Man's walking into wars inside the cage, earning millions, and living like it's 2001. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny Sean is authentic. No filters, no flexing, just a fighter who stays true to his roots. Now let's talk about the champ, Suga Sean O'Malley. In a recent interview, Sean said he plans to keep fighting until he's 37 or 38 years old. That's nearly a decade more of O'Malley, in and out of the cage. He's only 30 now, but already has a UFC title, a massive fan base, and a growing media empire. He's not just fighting, he's building a brand. And if he stays healthy, this dude could be the face of the UFC for a long time. Now here's where things got emotional. Jon Jones recently got real about his infamous rivalry with Daniel Cormier. He said, and I quote, "I hated him, not in a playful way. I genuinely hated the man at the time." That's a heavy statement coming from a fighter who's had plenty of enemies. But Jones also said that hate brought out the worst in him. And now with time, he sees it differently. This was one of the most iconic rivalries in MMA history. Trash talk, brawls at pressers, insane fights. And now, all these years later, we're hearing the emotional toll it took on both men. All right, Kayla Harrison had to address some serious shade recently. People started throwing around PED accusations, and Kayla finally responded. She said, "I've never popped. I've never failed a test. I'm clean, always have been." And she didn't just stop there. She said she's open to random testing anytime, anywhere. Bring it on. Look, when you dominate like she has, haters are going to talk. But if she keeps backing it up like this, those voices won't matter. Okay, this one's going to spark debate. Jon Anik, one of the voices of the UFC, said he already considers Merab Dvalishvili the greatest bantamweight of all time. Now hold on. Merab's run has been insane. His pace, his pressure, his grinding style. It's something else. But GOAT, that's putting him ahead of guys like Dominic Cruz, TJ Dillashaw, Aljamain Sterling. It's bold. But hey, if Merab beats O'Malley at UFC 316, that conversation gets very real, very fast. And speaking of Merab, his toe is still messed up. He posted a new update, And man, it looks painful. Purple, swollen, looks like it barely works. But here's the crazy part. Merab is still training, still grinding, still preparing for war. If there's one thing you can't question, it's this guy's heart. Dude is a machine. Now for the biggest story of the week, Tom Aspinall has officially moved on from Jon Jones. In a new interview, Tom said he's been trying to get that fight. He's waited. He's been patient. But Jones? Total silence. No response. No clarity. Nothing. So Tom said, if he's retired, then so be it. That's huge, because it might be the strongest confirmation yet that Jon Jones is stepping away from the sport. No official retirement, but when even the interim champ is done chasing you, it says a lot. Now the question is, who's next for Aspinall? Sergey? Stipe? Jelton? The division's wide open. And the fans? Man, the comments are on fire. One viewer said, Aspinall versus Pavlovich is a fight for the ages. Book it now. Another wrote, Jon Jones isn't coming back. He's done. Let the new blood rise. And honestly, they might be right. The sport's changing fast, and guys like Aspinall and Merab are pushing the new era forward. All right, fam. That's it for today's update. From Jon Jones possibly riding into the sunset, to Merab grinding through injuries, and Maycee Barber calling out names. The MMA world is moving fast. Now it's your turn. Do you think Jon Jones is actually done? Should Merab be considered the GOAT already? Who should Tom Aspinall fight next? Let's get the convo going in the comments. Hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a thing. This is MMA Trends, where real fight fans stay informed. Catch y'all in the next one.